All right, I would like to call to order this meeting of the Apple Valley Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee for December the 4th, 2025. At this time, I'd like to invite all those present who are willing and able to please rise and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, good evening, everyone. First up is approval of tonight's agenda. Kayla has given everyone a copy of the agenda. Are there any changes or additions that any of the members would like to see made to the agenda for this evening? If not, I would look for a motion to approve the tonight's agenda as printed.
So moved.
I have a motion from Craig.
I'll second that.
I have a second from Jess. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And any opposed? That passes unanimously. Next up is the audience participation. Each meeting we set aside some time for the audience or for the public to come and speak with us if they choose to. By looking at the empty seats, I don't think we're going to have anyone tonight that's going to be speaking with us. Just a reminder for anyone that may be watching at home, if you'd like to come down and speak with us, we'd love to hear you. We meet the first Thursday of every month, usually, with the exception of next month. But we would love to hear your thoughts and ideas. If there's things you're happy with, not happy with, we'd love to know that. So please keep that in mind. And with that, we're going to move on. And the next item is the approval of the minutes from the November 2025 meeting. You all have a copy of that. Are there any changes that any members think should be made to those minutes as they are presented? None? I would look for a motion to approve the minutes from the November 2025 meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve those minutes from the November 2025 meeting.
I have a motion from Dave. And I have a second from Jessica. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Passes unanimously. All right, next up are the agenda items. And first up are the division updates. And I believe the first one is for Valleywood. And is that Mr. Zink is going to be presenting that to us?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Good evening, Chair, members of the committee. I'm Jim Zink, golf course manager. I have Jordan Johnson, our clubhouse coordinator, here to provide any additional information that I'm unaware of, which could happen. Just want to briefly go through, we had a great year at Valleywood. As you guys know, a couple of years ago, we did some irrigation improvements and some on-course improvements, and all of that has been very well received. Okay, we'll try this one. There we go. Okay, rounds of golf. This is just a comparison of the last 2 years. Basically, May through August, we're full. If the weather's good, we're full. Almost about 6,000 rounds a month we're doing. The shoulder seasons, if you will, if we get open and great weather in April or great weather like we did this year in October, the last couple of years actually late in the year. That's kind of where we can really make a big difference in comparisons. Again, same kind of thing with monthly revenues. We bring in a little bit in the off season with banquets, events, gift cards, things like that. Obviously the bulk of our revenue is golf related. It's what we've seen from our annual rounds. Some of you were involved when we developed our new business plan a number of years ago, and the business plan was kind of based on 30,000 rounds. So you see, we've been doing very well. COVID was very, very good for the golf business. And the South Metro area, they keep building houses and they're not building golf courses. So business has been very, very good at Valleywood. Events, we do a number of events. These are basically banquet-specific events. We estimate that we do 10 to 15 golf events of over 40 players a year and probably 25 or more of 20 to 30 players. We don't count that in here. Many of those golf events will use the banquet facility, but when they're paying the few $1,000s for the golf, we let them use the room. So the event business has been pretty consistent. We don't do very many weddings, not a very great venue for that, but we'll do a couple every year. And we've got very popular we just had a Christmas party the other day. The other nice thing is that the city were able to use that facility for we had a training there earlier today. We get quite a bit of use out of it that way too. Annual revenue continues to climb. Both rounds have been up, and the market keeps driving the price up. So one of the things we have to do is we have to be competitive in the local market when it comes to prime time, afternoon leagues, and weekend green fees, but we offer almost half-price fees weekday mornings, seniors. In fact, our senior league is so popular that our morning special that's supposed to end at 11 o'clock, I believe, went till 11:15 this year, just because the senior league is so full. So it's been very, very popular. Food and beverage annual revenue, 2020, it's not a typo, that was roasted pears last year, running food and beverage in the building. In 2021, we opted to take it all back in-house and hired a bunch of 18-year-old kids, and Jordan worked really closely with that group, and we've seen pretty steady growth in that side of the operation. And now it's kind of leveling off at about 250 to 260 a year. One of the big things we did with our on-course project a few years ago was the driving range. So in 2023, we closed the range a little bit early for that project to go on. Complete revamp of the driving range. For someone like myself who's been out there a long time, it's hard to believe that's still the same piece of property it was. But we're seeing massive growth in range usage. One of the things we did when we did that project is we added a new ball dispenser machine up on the range where people can use a credit card right at the machine. And each month, a higher and higher percentage of range balls are sold right at the driving range. By the end of this year, we're selling almost 50% of all the range balls right at the machine. It's great for people that just want to come out at their convenience and use it. It also allows our staff to provide, I think, a higher level of service in the golf shop for those that are golfing. This last year, as the committee's probably aware, we used a lot of our capital to purchase a new fleet of golf cars. Business has dictated we went from 55 golf cars to 60 golf cars. We spent about $420,000 on that fleet of golf cars. And you can see from this, we recouped 367 of it the first year. Golf carts, state-of-the-art batteries, should run probably 4 to 6 years of use we should get out of them, and then we'll have some reciprocal trade-in value at that time. So everybody rides, except Dave. Just recapping kind of what we do, we've talked about this before. Obviously, we do a lot of different kinds of golf events, high school golf, juniors. We have a lot of juniors that play. We work with State Golf Association. Last year we had the state senior amateur qualifier. This year we have the women's team championship. In the fall of 2026 we'll have that. So we do a lot of different kinds of golf events. And then, the golf course is a community asset. So there are a number of things we do. If privately owned golf course, probably wouldn't do it. So we're very supportive of our high school golf teams. The Nordic ski team uses the facility all winter. We host section cross-country meets. And actually, the school district's a pretty good, they rent our building for different trainings and things in the off-season and meetings that get where it says gatherings, POP. That is the Prince of Peace Ladies Group, who's been playing. They play their spring and fall event at Valleywood. They play once a month around the Twin Cities, but they do their banquet at our place. And I don't know how many golfers they know, but I'll tell you, they sure are positive about the experience at Valleywood, so we like having them out. Then we have the large banquet space used by all of our leagues. So Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday evenings, we have golf leagues out there using that space. School district meetings, as I mentioned, city meetings and trainings and things like that. We had a great year. We had a good year from a business standpoint, but we have, I think, the best staff we've ever had. And we are fortunate. The Minnesota Golf Association works with the United States Golf Association, promotes a Youth on Course program that we've been a part of for a number of years. And they did just recently, they have their kind of Give to the Max Day, where they're promoting everything, and they actually, the national video that promoted was with 2 of our staff members. See if I can get that to play.
I'm Tara Dudley. It's my 5th summer here, and I'm the Pro Shop Supervisor.
My name is Benji Vanderberg. This is my 3rd summer out here at Valleywood, and I'm a Pro Shop and outside service lead.
I think I first heard about Youth on Course from my dad. I think some family friends told us about it.
The most memorable experience for me was probably my first time ever using Youth on Course, showing up to the course and paying $3 to play 9 holes with my friends.
I think I was definitely intimidated as a young girl. I was coming into a place I had never been to really before. So I joke with a lot of the staff here that I was kind of scared to come here because I didn't know what to expect. But I'm glad I stuck with it. I really wanted to get better at golf, and it was one of the best things I did.
Youth on Course really gives you the opportunity to explore the golf course and explore the golf community.
If I had any advice to give to parents or kids thinking about joining Youth on Course, I would say definitely do it. It was one of the best things I did as a teen, and I think you learn so many valuable lessons, more than just golf.
Some advice I would give to future Youth on Course members or current Youth on Course members is take the risk and play with a random single that you might get paired up with. You never know where that connection will take you.
Any young kids, I'm going to be a teacher, so any young kids I see that like golf, I'm like, do Youth on Course, please. It's awesome. And anyone that comes into the Pro Shop that hasn't signed up yet, or even their pass has expired, renew it, get involved, it's awesome.
So both Tara and Benji, we've known since they were kids. I mean, Tara was probably 14, 13 years old when we first got to know her, and one of the things we talked to Youth on Course about, it's a great opportunity for kids to be able to play, but it's really a great opportunity for people like Jordan and I to get to know these kids and future employees. So it's been great. Tara kind of managed, or kind of the supervisor in our golf shop. A couple of years ago, we've got a number of retired people that work there, and I met with a few of them just to say, hey, we're thinking maybe of having Tara be a supervisor. And I mean, I was shocked, the enthusiasm of a bunch of 75-year-old men for a 21-year-old girl to be the supervisor. Both Tara and Benji are going to be teachers. They're both almost finishing school now. I think Benj will be done this year, and I think Tara has 1 more year of grad school. So they've just been invaluable. Probably the best year I've ever seen for staff. We had a good year business-wise, but a great year staff-wise. And not to end this on too somber a note, but there's some things come up in Park and Rec that you don't really plan for. And in June, we had a member of one of our golf leagues went down on the 6th tee. And the guys came in, and Jordan and I went out, and we got the guy, hit him twice with an AED. He did not survive. And then in the fall, we have these 5 food and beverage leads that have been with us for 5 or 6 years. And one of them, their parents were killed in a car accident. And it was very difficult. Then about a month later, we had a young lady whose sister also worked for us, and she was killed in a car accident. And, you know, we have a tragedy at the golf course once every few years. It's just the nature of it. We have, you know, emergency personnel respond to something. And all the years I've been at this, I was not prepared for what we dealt with from a staff standpoint. I know that Jordan and I are maybe too close to our staff. We work so closely with them. We're open, you know, 210, 220 days a year. We open, we don't close until snow comes. So we're with these kids a lot. And it was a brutal way to go through the year and finish the year and have such a great year in all other ways. So we're hopeful that we haven't really seen those girls since the 2 funerals we attended, but we're hopeful that they'll come in over Christmas break and we'll get to see them again and start. Hopefully they'll stay with us for a little while. But I think for all of us in Park and Rec, you know, we deal with the public. We have a lot of people using our facilities. We have a lot of staff, young people and retired people that we get very close to. And just like anything, when you get real close to people, you have a risk there that something may happen. It was great that we all had each other, but it was just a really, really difficult way to finish the year. So I hate to end on that note. From a business standpoint, it was a great year, and we're really looking forward to next year. I guess if you have any questions.
Yeah, just thanks for those heartfelt comments. I know as a user of Valleywood, I've seen the close relationship you and Jordan have with the staff, and I've seen the growth of the staff over the past few years. So it's really been nice to see. I do have one question for you on the tea sponsorships. Could you explain how that works, or is that something the Valleywood staff does?
Yeah, we have, so we had a company probably maybe 10 years ago that started producing scorecards for us. We go through about 25,000 scorecards a year. Probably would cost us a couple $1,000s a year to get them printed. This company sells ads on the scorecards and provides us free scorecards. When we started the course improvement project, started planning for that, this same company, Benchcraft, reached out to us that they can provide tea signage. And as part of that, they sell ads on the tea signs. And it's that time of year where they're doing it right now, because I've gotten a couple calls, people confirming that it's a legitimate business or whatever. But we estimate that those tea signs that we got from them probably would have cost $15,000 to $20,000 for us to produce and install. They took care of all of it. We do have, you know, we've made it clear we don't want any alcohol on the signs. We don't want certain businesses on the signs. But they sell them, I think, a 2-year cycle. And then if they have a new sponsor, they'll send us the little plastic sign to replace and pay us $10 to do it.
Great, thank you.
Anything else?
I do have, oh, sorry. I have one question about the irrigation system, and maybe this isn't something you have offhand, but I recall when we discussed this as the system was being put in, it's a lot more efficient, and leaks have been, you know, leaks in the old system are obviously not there anymore because it's been completely replaced. Mm-hmm. Do you have any kind of a ballpark as far as like how much water, how much money that system has saved us in its first full year?
Dollars, it's we're on a DNR permit with we have a well on the property. So And of course, weather varies year to year. Compared to kind of our average from the previous, say, 8 years, the last 2 years, our usage is down about 25%. We anticipate it going down a little more next year. One of the things where we have a pond for our well and an adjacent pond that we fill on the 15th and 16th holes, we estimate those hold about 3 million gallons of water. We do not need to drain those anymore. We used to have to drain those down below the intake for the irrigation system, and just by having to drain them down and refill them. So our usage is down about 25%. The cost saves us a few $100s, to be honest. The DNR permit, we pay about $150, plus we pay a premium for that water usage May through September. So I think I'm just getting ready to do this annual. I think it's probably going to be about $800. The cost of the permits probably offset the savings, but we're using probably 25+% less water and way more coverage on the golf course.
That's good to hear, even if it's not saving us a lot of money. I know that, through our referendum, we found that natural resources is really important to the community. So saving 25%
Yes.
water use just on its own, even if it doesn't save us a penny, is
Absolutely
very good. So
yeah, and our repair costs are way down. So.
Did you turn that on? I did not. Anyway, just a big tip of the hat to you guys. You're doing a great job. Valleywood's in good shape. Wasn't always that way back when, so whatever you're doing, keep it up and just hope for some good weather and, congratulations.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, next up, I believe, is the aquatics. And I believe Steve Skinner is going to talk to us about that.
Good evening, members of the committee. Nice to meet you. See you again. Happy to come and talk about the renovation of what is now Splash Valley Water Park. Fundamentally speaking, I think we all know that that facility was renovated over the last winter into spring and right up almost till we opened. But I thought he'd like a look again at what phase one looked like back in 1998. There was no river. It was just the one leisure pool. We added that river in 2009, and now the facility looks like that. So coming along nicely. I think probably the most prominent thing in this view is how much shade we have added to the property. There's shade everywhere, including, you'll note there's shade over the water now. So really nice for those parents who have to sit there with the little ones in the shallow end. They can sit in shade if they want to while the little ones play. We've themed the park, and it is now Splash Valley, and the otters are definitely part of that theme, and they are all over the place. So you're going to see statuary scattered around. As I said, a significant increase in shade throughout the park. And some of that is, most of that is open to everybody. So it's kind of first come, first serve. So when people arrive in the morning, you'll see them sprinting for the shade structure that they want to be in that day. But people do also reserve shade, so we'll go over that in a minute. We do have several different varieties of rental shade. This one is, in particular, is picnic tables under shade, and people can rent one picnic table, both picnic tables, for a 2-hour block, and that is very popular with people who just want to know where the stuff's going to be and where they're going to set the food up, things like that. The kids are all in the pool, of course. We did add birthday party packages as well this year, and you notice there's a Lilo and Stitch themed party going here where somebody's decorated around that theme, and they were having a lot of fun with it that day. Let's see, we've also, the birthday party packages do include 10 entries, a treat for every participant, and use of the party pavilion, and then we also give them a towel or a SPF 50 t-shirt, depending on what they want, and they can purchase additional entries as well if they have more than 10 guests. But that's been very popular, and there's a little sampling of what the t-shirts and this towel look like. So it's just a big beach towel with our logo on it. Probably the most prominent increase in features on the pool itself is this area where we've greatly increased the play area for small children. We've got the wet play table there. We've got the little slides. We've got a lot of water flying around, and then of course they have that tippy bucket, which every 6 minutes dumps a real deluge onto whoever is willing to stand underneath it. So, and they love that. We did also add season passes this year, and those were actually very popular. I think people really like the idea of just, if they're going to come a lot, if they're going to come more than 7 times, that's the break-even point, and after that, it's all good for them. So we're seeing a lot more repeat users because of that. They like that a lot, and that's actually, we're selling those now as stocking stuffers. So it's that time of year. There's another, just talking a little more about shade and additional seating. We did add a lot more seating to the property as well. So people are often, trying to find a chair. So we're trying to make sure there are chairs everywhere. And that is indeed the case, right along the water line, all around, and many of them under shade as well. Although some folks do still like to sit out. And then we do have 4 cabanas back by the lazy river, which is a little more quieter. Nice place for people to have a little quieter time for the adults while the kids play. So those have been very useful, and a lot of people like those. And some folks have small parties in them too, just to gather, give people a place to go. Currently, available, as I said, for holiday gift giving. We've got the season passes, we got the 10 entry discount sets, and we've got cabana rental vouchers, which means that somebody can give somebody a cabana for the summer, and they get a little code on the coupon, and they can go in and reserve a cabana whenever they want. So that'll be nice. And then concession improvements, a lot of what was going on there, one, we wanted to just improve the equipment in the concession stand. We now have 2 speed ovens and some other things that are making it much easier for us to move food quickly when people in demand is high. And you'll note that that some of those windows have been lowered and opened up, so everything is now much more accessible than it was. So people who are in wheelchairs, people who had mobility impairments had a hard time getting to the concession stand. Now they have very little in their way. So that should make life easier for everyone, especially if they have young children in tow and they're trying to keep everything moving smoothly and the children happy, because that's what it's all about, keeping the kids happy. As far as the summer went, it was very cold and windy at the start of the summer. June was not a pleasant month for outdoor swimming, but I think Valleywood did well, because it tends to be that way. And when it's very hot, we're the ones who are doing well, and they're not so much so. And then it's a little cooler, Valleywood's doing better, and it's a little quieter at the pool. July and August were very hot and very busy, so it was a good summer in that regard. And we did have some impacts from poor air quality, Canadian wildfires. So a lot of hazy days. So. Significant number of people, again, going through the park, so a lot of fun. Water walking continues to be very popular, morning and evening, especially on the hot days. People love to come down and cool down with that in the evening. And then just a little sampling of, some other views. We do have preschool or, tot time going on in the morning during water walking and lap swimming. So in the leisure pool, it's just the little ones and their parents. And that's becoming quite the destination for the little ones. So they're having a really good time with that. And then we've got quite a few games scattered around the property too. So if kids want to play with things, we've got lots of lawn games and things like that for them to play with. So, questions about the pool?
So I think not this last season, but the season before that, I think we were forced to be closed. Wasn't it like 10 days or something?
Yeah, it's
Was
2024 was a lousy pool summer. Yeah, it was.
and was
And then the
How
summer
did
before
this-
that, we were closed hardly at all. I mean, it
Really?
was just
Okay.
brutally hot all summer long. So some of this is very weather dependent. This summer was a very nice summer, and for the most part, other than June, everything was it was warm day after day after day. It was really nice.
Are they using the splash pad much at all, or?
They do, yeah, especially during safety breaks, because we encourage everybody to get the kids out of the pool once an hour, and encourage them to use the locker rooms. And at the same time, the kids that want to keep doing things, they're over there scrolling around on the splash pad, or they're at the concession stand. That's when we typically see the rushes at the concession stand as well. So
So we're seeing a lot more younger
Yes.
admissions because of the new equipment and stuff.
Yeah, this equipment was very much designed for them. Yeah, this is really small kid heaven right there in that section of the pool now. So they're having a great time.
I would add to that too that we're seeing a lot more seniors coming to our park. They are our primary users of the season passes.
Sunbathers.
Well, it's a beautiful looking facility now. I mean, it's, everything's shiny and new and
Inviting.
just getting those slides regelled or whatever they did to them. I mean, God, that looks nice.
It does. It really does. People are really enjoying it. So.
One thing that I was going to comment on is the chairs, the colored chairs that sit upright instead of the traditional ones.
Yep.
Very happy to see those. I know some individuals that have persistent back problems, and it makes a world of difference to have that type of chair available. So very pleased that those are there, and as chairs need to be replaced, I hope that those ones are still considered, because appreciate having those around.
Yeah, no, people really like them, and they're easy to move, so they can gather them and sit together. It's very nice. Anything else I can answer?
I enjoyed using the facility this summer with my family, so well done. There was so much thought that went into this. Is there anything, as you kind of look back and it's all on, and is there anything you would have done differently?
As far as the renovation itself, I don't think so. I think it went as smoothly as it could, because the weather didn't always cooperate over last winter, so it was pretty touch and go. I mean, within 3 days of opening, we still had a lot of work to do as far as getting the site cleaned up. Everything was done, but the site really needed a lot of thorough attention. But, I had 25, high school and college students to do that, so we just turned them loose, and they walked a police line all the way around the interior of that park looking for anything sharp that had accumulated through the construction process, and we got all that out of there, and that was my main fear, that we would still have some sharps on the ground. We got through it, so that was good.
Well, that's important, but if that was all you were worried about, that was a pretty good project.
That was all I was worried about at that point. So, yeah, it was very nice to see it all come together the way it did.
Well done.
I would add to that, we added additional 110 chairs to this facility, the lounge chairs, if you will, including the upright chairs you spoke of, Craig. And then we also added half a dozen or so more tables. We thought that would be enough. We could have added more.
All right. Very good.
All right.
Thank you, Steve.
My pleasure.
All right, next up is going to be athletics, and I believe this is Nick going to present that to us.
Mr. Chair, members of the committee, Nick Thompson. Primary role is, as mentioned, athletics. I work with the youth associations quite a bit as well, and then permitting fields as well as rentals themselves. Let's see if I can figure this thing out here. Okay, so our youth athletic partners, we have EVA in town, VAA, some Legion, and Valley Lacrosse is a conglomeration of VAA and EVA coming together for those offerings. Throughout the spring, summer, and fall season, we had 153 fields permitted. We have a lot of options out there. We're happy to keep kids active, and EVAA and our other partners and VAA do a great job. And we're happy to help them. Roughly 4,600 athletes annually, 13,000+ hours of use in those parks. Just the local associations run 8 tournaments that usually are anywhere from 2 to 3 complexes deep. And then this year we had to navigate a temporary loss of some fields due to some referendum projects. Everybody's very excited about having some new fields in play, but it did put a temporary pinch. The youth associations, I can't say enough good things about how well they were to work with on finding creative solutions to get through, like I said, a short-term pinch. On the field rental side of things, when the youth associations are not using our complexes, so weekends, some a little bit heavier in the fall as well. We have adult baseball, soccer teams that use the fields as well, club, youth baseball, and softball, soccer leagues, and then, like I said, tournaments. We anticipate 23 or more large-scale tournaments for the 2026 season. And as the numbers kind of jump out at you here, the tournament and field rental has been growing year after year after year. I kind of keep waiting for when that plateau might happen, and it just doesn't, which I guess is a good thing. So I'll take my chance to give a shout out to the Park Maintenance Department. They do a great job with those tournaments, and that's a big piece of why those tournaments keep coming in. They have good things to say, and that kind of is a self-feeding cycle there too. So give my annual plug to those guys. They do a good job for us. On the adult athletics side of things, softball, we have had 102 teams in 2025. Leagues are out there 4 to 5 nights a week between the summer and fall seasons. We did partner with Egan this year. They had some construction happening on their complex, so we were able to host all of their teams that wanted to sign up down here for 1 year. Just trying to helping neighbors and making sure that people have a place to play if they want to. Kickball is a league that we actually work with. It's called the South of the River Recreators. A bunch of communities. It's leagues that we might have a tough time. Like, we're not Savage and Egan and Apple Valley and Burnsville and Farmington are not all going to be able to have a kickball league, but we can have one and make it happen. So we host kickball. There's other unique leagues in some of the other communities. It's kind of a nice way for us to work together and run some leagues that we normally couldn't. Beanbags is still going strong, 91 teams in 2025. We're one of the bigger park and rec programs in the metro area. We run both indoor and outdoor leagues at the community center and then out at Johnny Cake Ridge Park East as well. Volleyball is one of it is our biggest program. So we have sand leagues. We expanded this year to 2 different seasons for the sand season. Indoor leagues, we have 383 teams in 2025. It keeps the community center packed just about every single night with those leagues. Midwinter Fest tournament had 84 teams. That's up to the 24% from 2024. We've been adding some weekday tournaments kind of in between on days where I probably shouldn't run leagues, so like Valentine's Day. It's a good day to kind of have off, but we had a facility sitting there that could be used. So we're running some kind of mini tournaments during those either breaks between season or unique days. We had a Halloween tournament. We have another one coming up over the holiday break that already has 10 teams registered for it. So we're just kind of trying to find gaps in the schedule and see if we can fill them. And these mini tournaments have been working out pretty well. Total tournament participation is up 61% in 2025 compared to 2024. And then our adult clinics, they continue to exponentially kind of grow. I think last time I talked to you, we were around like 80 to 90 participants per year. This year we're at 222. So they're in high demand and usually have a wait list.
Who runs those clinics? Is that city staff, or do you hire outside people?
You don't want me there. I do a good job behind the scene. We partner with a business called Aspire Adult Volleyball. And they came highly recommended when I was kind of looking for somebody that we could partner with. They've been great. We get nothing but rave reviews from them, and
great, thanks.
They're easy to work with as well. So our basketball league collaboration with Egan has continued. We host the Sunday leagues in Apple Valley. They host Wednesday leagues up in Egan. We both take registrations for both programs, and then we just share and even up costs based on who has a percentage of the league. So it kind of helps us both fill our leagues. We went from just having like 6 or 7 basketball teams to having 51 in 2025 between both communities. So that's cheating a little bit, but even divided by 2, it really boosted our numbers. The leagues are soaring. People are having a good time with it. Fall, winter, and spring seasons. And then, like I said, prior to the collaboration, we averaged 6 to 7 teams, and now we're at 20 plus every year. So it's been a good move. Adult athletic free agent list. So this is actually one of my favorite pieces that we have in our adult athletic program. It's just a form. You can kind of see the start of it there in front of you, where people can sign up. So they could say their name, phone number, email, the sports they're interested in, the level that they want to play in there. They can add some additional details, like if they know they want to be a pitcher for softball, they could add that in there. It's a way to get individuals that don't have a team, and then we use them in a number of different ways. So it helps our existing teams find subs. So if an existing team, registered team, reaches out saying they need some subs, I filter down that list, shoot it off to them, and they're usually able to find, it's usually a list of 40 plus people, and they usually need one. So we've been pretty successful finding subs that way. We actually have so many free agents that we've started to create teams entirely from that free agent list. My evening staff I usually do the initial reach out and kind of try to get them interested and let them know that we can have you play. We just need to help build a team that matches kind of what they're looking for. Evening staff kind of takes it from there, guides them through the process, and helps them register individually. And then we just kind of form a team. We've had good luck with those teams starting up and then continuing in interleagues as well. And then it also helps if a team's on the edge of whether they're going to be able to stick around or not. It's a way for me to say, hang on a second, I got a list of people. Don't give up just quite yet. Let's find 2 or 3 more people to supplement your team. Pickleball continues to be a big program for us. Had 96 lesson participants in 2025. Leagues are growing time and time again, but any prime evening time that we offer fills up almost immediately. We have to balance all sorts of play that people want to do. That includes just open play available for the public, as well as some league opportunities. So we try to be conscious of that. Make sure not to put too much of a pinch on that open play, but it is something that people are obviously looking for. The leagues fill, so we try to find that balance. With the additional courts, we will be offering some additional leagues this year. We won't be interfering in any more nights of play, though. We also do court rental at the community center. We do open pickleball at the community center. And then Rotary runs a big tournament every year that we're happy to host. They do a great job with it. It's a really well-attended tournament. On the adult open gym side of things, we have volleyball, badminton, pickleball. A lot of days a week for all of them. You can kind of see them laid out there. Badminton especially, well, they've all been growing pretty exponentially, but badminton especially has been, we've expanded nights, so we offer Sunday nights at the community center. Sunday nights actually didn't even used to be open, and now we have basketball league on one court. We have a volleyball league that started up a couple years ago and has just started to fill, and then we have open badminton as well. So we're filling some previously underutilized times at the community center. 2,900 total admissions from November to November 2024 to 25. So it is a very, very, very popular program with a lot of people running through it all the time. And with that, I'll turn it over and see if you have any questions.
What sport didn't you offer?
What didn't we offer?
Yeah.
Can't think of one, Jess.
I bet.
If you have an idea that you want to play, come talk to me. We'll see if we can make it happen.
I think it's just, since you started, this has just gone a whole new way. And I think when I met you, when you started, the focus was on the associations and just trying to wrestle number down and understand. But now you fast forward and you've got a whole ecosystem, and associations are less and less of the dominant voice and usage, and seeing other people come and use it is just cool. So good job. Yeah. I think one of the other things that I appreciate too when I got to meet you was, Moeller Field was a good example of a great space that was going to get destroyed if we didn't take care of it. I live right across the street. And so the work that you guys have done over the last 2 years to have gotten Peter Beaumont to stay off that field for as long as he did, so you could get that work done, means that you probably had something to do with that. So I throw that to you too, because I know protecting our environment and making sure we were rotating fields was a big deal. And so I see the benefits of it personally, so good job.
Yeah. Youth Association, they've been great partners. It hasn't been a fight. It's been just a great partnership where they want to see good things. We want to try to make it happen. I hope they feel the same. I appreciate them.
Yeah, good job.
Anything else?
Yeah, I just want to commend you on a couple other things. I recall last year, the year prior, you were talking about kind of getting that free agent list started, and I'm really happy to see how well that's worked out. As someone who is not native to Apple Valley, I don't have enough friends here that I could make a full team on my own. So having an option like that for individuals like me who may want to play basketball but don't know 4 other guys who want to is really awesome. And also kudos for the collaboration with our neighboring communities. What we're doing with Egan with the basketball registrations and that sort of thing is definitely worthy of praise. So good work on that. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Nick. Appreciate it. All right, next up is the review plans for Duchess, Greening, and Pennock Parks. Mr. Carlson.
Mr. Chair, members of the committee, just want to review plans for the 3 of the parks in the southwest area of Apple Valley, Duchess, Greening, Pennock. So we'll go through those really quick. So this is a list of the parks that we're planning to improve in 2026. I won't read them, but amongst those parks, and it's like a dozen of them, we are planning to make improvements to Duchess, Greening, and Pennock. And as you're aware, we're working very closely with our engineering department because not only is the city planning to make some park improvements in that area, we're also planning to make some pretty major road improvements in that area, as well as some underground utilities, water, sewer, stormwater. One of the major pieces of that is our natural resources and engineering staff are working to improve the water quality of the Whitney Pond. And to do that, they need to install storm sewer in that entire neighborhood. And that means they need to find spaces and places to do some water infiltration and some stormwater ponding. So they're going to be using parts of these 3 parks to achieve some of those goals. So in Duchess Park, we're going to be replacing the playground, the basketball court, the backstop, making sure that everything that we're doing there is ADA accessible. They're going to be building an infiltration basin and an underground stormwater vault. And this rectangle right here is where the underground stormwater vault is going to be. So if you can imagine just this big, huge concrete structure going to be buried underground, and then you're going to put dirt back on top of it, put grass back on top of it, and unless you know it's there, you're not going to know it's there because it's going to be underground, and it's going to help improve the water quality of that entire area. This is where the current playground is sitting, but it's going to become an infiltration pond. The baseball field sits basically right here, right now, and the basketball court's over here, but we'll be putting the basketball court and the playground in this general area, and then building this ADA trail that gets you connected to the playground, the basketball court, and the baseball field all at the same time. So that's just more of a better image, if you will, of what's going to be happening at that park. And then as you know, we've always engaged the public about what they want. And we gave the public a couple options for playground equipment, and this is the playground equipment that the people voted the most for. So this is the playground equipment that we'll be moving forward with at the park. A couple different views of that. And I think that's the last one, and we'll move on to Greening Park. So again, a lot of the same types of improvements. No underground storage facility for water treatment in this park, but we do have an infiltration basin planned for the park. This drawing shows a looped trail. We will not be moving forward with the loop trail, but we will be moving forward with the infiltration basin, improvements to the backstop, the basketball court, and the playground. And there's a better rendering of what that's going to look like. Most of the time, there should be a little bit of water in the bottom of this pond. And again, neighbors and people had an opportunity to vote on the playground equipment for the park, and this is the direction that they wanted us to go. Then we're off to Pennock Park. Again, a lot of the same improvements, but we'll be building a relatively large infiltration basin in this park. And this is Pennock right here on the right-hand side of the screen, or the east side of the park. We'll be having a basketball court, a tennis court, and a pickleball court in the area where there's currently 2 tennis courts. The playground sits right about here right now. There's a basketball court here. This is where the playground will be. And this will be an infiltration basin, as will this. This is going to be about 12 feet deep, so this is going to be a significant depression or hole in the ground, if you will. During large rain events, it will have water in the bottom of it, designed to have water in the bottom of it for a couple of days, and then it should infiltrate and or drain out of there. So a lot of the time, the area will be dry and usable. And so as a part of the design process, we're trying to make sure that we can still use the bottom of the pond for recreational purposes. And so we've been asking for feedback from the community on what that might look like. And so there might be a trail that goes through it. There might be some plantings that are at the bottom of it, just to try to make sure that it's not just this hole in the ground. We want to make sure that it's attractive and provides for some benefit to the community. And again, this is the playground equipment that people voted on and are selecting for Pennock Park. So I can stand and answer any questions that committee members may have.
I'm just curious as to what pulled the loop on greening.
I'm sorry?
I'm curious as to what drove the decision to pull the loop.
So it's not an amenity, if you will, that we have in any of our other parks, and so we don't want to start a trend, if you will, of doing that and it's not that big of an area to begin with. So that's the direction we wanted to go with that.
Thank you.
So can you go, the picture of Pennock, that one? No, that looks real nice right there. But is that going to be maintained at all? Is it going to be mowed? Is it going to be just
a lot of the plantings will be natural base, so on the slopes, if you will, be natural base plantings, not intended to be maintained. The bottom of it, at least in this depiction, it'll be a lot of natural plantings, but some of it will be mowed not on a regular basis, but on a somewhat basis.
Okay, but weeds won't be growing.
That's not the intention, but it's also not intended to be a soccer field or something like that.
Right.
Just so we're on the same page.
You guys are?
Can't fit a pickleball court in there or something?
Well, there is going to be a pickleball court, but that's going to be up at the court level. Any other questions on what we're planning to do with the 3 parks in the southwest part of town?
I would just say I like the idea of having the native plantings in there. The other thing that I would commend, and I know that this is partially based on how the citizens voted for each of these neighborhoods, but something I was concerned about is ending up with cookie cutter parks because we're doing them all kind of at the same time, and all of the renderings that were shown for these 3 parks seem very distinctive and very different. So I just want to commend you and the designers and community members who voted on it on giving a little variety, because I think that that's important as we're redoing so many parks on such a short time frame. So I was pleased to see the variety there.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up. So that is one thing that we have been cognizant of. We are trying to make sure that we don't have all of the same vendor putting too much playground equipment in the same vicinity, if you will, so that helps with the variety. I will say that there was a couple parks where it was like 49-51, and there was other parks where it was 70-30. On a couple parks where it was 49-51, we didn't necessarily go with the 51. We might have gone with the 49 because the park right next door was the very similar in nature, and we wanted to make sure that there was enough differences, if you will. So when it was that close, we felt like we had the ability to say, okay, we're gonna break this, in essence, tie and go this way, because we were looking at a bigger picture, if you will. So.
All right, then I guess we'll be moving on to approve updated youth open gym policy and rules. Looks like this will be Mr. Rosa.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and committee members. So today we're here for approval or questions and everything, but looking for approval on our youth open gym policy and rules. What we're doing is updating our existing internal policy and procedures. Staff are looking for clarifications on their roles and responsibilities in different situations that have come up or occurred. So what we did is we took a deeper look, reviewed policies and procedures from multiple cities that offer a very similar program. We found we were operating in similar fashion overall, with a few areas we could improve. One being the code of conduct and rules, and making sure that we have those hanging within in our facilities as well. So we took the next steps for making updates, having part-time and full-time staff review those updates. We had the city attorney review next, so that makes sure we're compliant and legal there. And now we're here for your input from the Park and Recreation Advisory Committee. And after any comment, questions, and potential approval, we will bring it forward to the City Council for final approval in the required process. Some quick information for you. The program is for grades 6 through 12. It is free, but it does require registration. It runs weekdays and non-school days from 2:30 to 4:30 p.m. and then Saturdays from noon till 2. And this will all occur in our hardwood gym. We have over 1,000 different youth have checked in over the last 365 days, and we average around 40 to 50 youth a day. And then in front of you again is the proposal for youth open gym policy and procedures and the code of conduct and rules for your approval. I'm available to answer any questions.
What's the biggest changes that you made from the policy or the unwritten policy you had previously?
The code of conduct and the rules, making sure when we looked at some of the other cities, they have those posted in the gym. So it's the thing to point to, right? And then the users can also see like, oh, okay, yep, no food or beverages allowed there. Okay, property damage. What happens if I do this? What is the outcome if I do this? So kind of just making it known and giving staff the ability to point to it. Like, it's right there, you can see it, that's not allowed. So because of that, it's also given us a better opportunity to see what the consequences are should certain things occur within the building. Some of the other things that we changed for this is when we're going to have the program, how we take entries into there. One of the big things we were running into is when you sign up for that registration, it required a parent to sign up. And we have some youth here that might be a barrier for them in order to get that to sign up. So what we've done, if they are a District 196 student, they're able to show their Infinite, I always say the name wrong, campus, thank you, their Infinite Campus ID, and that will allow them to sign up for that registration. And that way, we're getting, the purpose of this program is to provide a safe place for youth after school and on non-school days. So that was a major change for us as well, making it an easier opportunity for them to get in there. If you can consider it to our outdoor parks, we don't require any registration for that. So the fact that we do indoors, how do we make that more accessible? So that's the biggest change. And we've seen a lot of improvement for that from the youth and from staff.
Nate, can you touch base on the difference between hardwood gym and sport court gym and how we're doing that differently as well?
Okay, so our hardwood gym is obviously the hard floor, right? Like your typical basketball floor. Our sport court is the one that's in the back southwest corner of the building, all the way down the hallway, through the right, through that other lounge area. And again, it's got a sport court surface, it's called, but it's more like a rubberized flooring, if you will. It's where we hold our pickleball stuff, our badminton, and everything on there. By changing some of our policies and what we use on there, we've moved the youth open gym to only the hardwood, so it's closer to the door, closer to the front desk, so staff have an easier time to go in there during their rounds. Just gives us a better opportunity to keep an eye on that, to make sure that things are going on in there that should be going on in there. Other changes we made through this entire process, we have some traffic calming things that occur once you come into the building. So we've put stanchions up to kind of split the hallway for left and right coming in and coming out. Parents have always been able to go into that program to pick up youth, but we have them now for sure stop at the front desk, sign in at that front desk. Staff will escort them down to the gym, walk around, make sure that they're there for a reason. We do require that they are there with someone that is in their family or that they're a parent or a guardian of. You can't just, no average Joe or Joanne can just walk in and like, I'm gonna go check out Youth Open Gym. So that again, traffic calming allows us to assess the situation, make sure the people that should be there are there.
So does the change from the sport court to the hardwood change the recreational activities that the youth are able to do? Or does that not change? It's just they moved rooms?
Yeah, so the same things that occur in both. It's usually basketball or volleyball. With it, obviously it'll change the flooring surface, if you will. One of the other things too that we hope to do in our referendum project is to add volleyball nets that hang from our ceiling as well. So it'll allow us to better alter the use in that specific gym. So we could leave one of the nets up, if you will, from volleyball so that it's easier for basketball to occur on a full court instead of just a half court situation. Only because we do follow up right after Youth Open Gym with a lot of our association play, our high school usage, which requires the net, and there's just not enough time to take those nets up and down.
Nate, I think I saw someplace, excuse me, in here that every half hour there would be a staff member that would take a round and go through the gyms and the restrooms or wherever.
Yep.
Is that something new, or has that always been done like that? Or
We've always done that. It just wasn't on a set basis of the 30 minutes. So we did change it to a 30 minutes so that we know when it goes. And we do switch that, if you will. So it's not always on the hour, half hour, so that their youth don't realize, okay, someone's going to come through and they're smart. They're smart.
Yeah.
They know.
Just a comment, because I love the program and I love the fact you're kind of detaching the parent from the situation. So it's great for working families and just parents that can't be there. So I think what's really noted and what I appreciate with this group is how you've gone about balancing better access, being pro-access with, doing what you need to do to tighten expectations and make things safe. So it's never fun to have to expunge anybody for doing something wrong, but now you have a policy and now it's there, and if it happens, God forbid, it's easy to do. So I think it's a great policy, and I think it's worth approving.
This has been an ongoing process for the whole of 2025, just to make sure that we can get this in place. There's been different iterations, and then the one in front of you is where we've landed.
any other questions?
No, I'm gonna.
You got your mic on.
Can I move? Can I make a motion?
Mic on.
Did you call for a motion yet?
Not yet. Could you let me?
I'm all excited.
Okay, this is something we will be voting on here, so I guess at this time I would look for a motion to approve the updated youth open gym policy and rules.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion from Jess and a second from Dave? Craig, sorry, I was looking the other direction. All right, any further discussion? All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And that passes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and committee members.
All right, that brings us to committee and staff discussion items. Is there anything there?
Yeah, Mr. Chair, members of the committee, nothing specific from staff, but we are here to answer questions that you may have.
Members? Nothing? All right, we will move on. Input from committee members on future agendas. Does anyone have anything new that they would like to add, or? I have one thing I think we should look at some point, and it may not seem appropriate on a day like today, but I think the committee should take a look at the outdoor skating situation and just kind of evaluate it. We are supposedly in a global warming situation, which probably means that things are going to probably have to change at some point, and I just think it would be a good idea for the committee to kind of just gather some information and just see where we're at, and you know, what the path forward should maybe be. So Certainly don't need it to do it now. We don't need to do it for this season, but I think sometime in the near future it would be a good topic for us to take up and just have a discussion. All right, nothing else? Nobody? Well, then I think Dave,
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
I'll second.
I have a motion from Dave and a second by Craig for adjournment. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? This meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much, everyone.